Hey everybody, we're back for the monthly vlog, and of course this month we are talking about Shoot for the Stars, a playbook for teens and tweens. So we're actually pretty excited about this book. This is actually Tamika's third book that she's written, and this book was primarily kind of designed as a book that kind of emulates a lot of what we do in our youth development programs. We wanted something that we could kind of package and share with people outside of just Indianapolis that aren't able to participate in our programs. So this is kind of a project that we've been talking about, working on for a while. We're super excited that the time is here and it's finally arrived.
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit last time, so kind of went in depth. We have six chapters, quote unquote, but it's written as a game plan. And as I just said, with the leadership program, it was awesome. It's been awesome. We're in week 2. Next week we'll actually get into week 3, and we have kids from all over the world that are participating.
Absolutely, and that's one thing too, like in light of COVID-19, we were supposed to be actually hosting one of our local youth development programs, Dream Catchers, but had to kind of pivot and adjust to the times, and we were able to launch Shoot for the Stars as an 8-week youth development program that is done virtually. So it has been neat. We've got a young lady in South Africa, we've got a team in Florida that's participating, and we've got pretty much students that are in pretty much every state all throughout the state. So it's been pretty neat. We've got about 70 kids in the program, and what we've been able to basically do is, instead of just having something here for kids here, we've been able to expand our reach.
Yeah. So looking at our table of contents, because this is the book that you should have read already, right? And that you're going to get as we introduce the next book. But we briefly touched on it last time, the 6 chapters, the rules, obviously. Rule number 1, always have a game plan. 2, be unique. 3, your character counts. 4, respect your team. 5, lead the way. And the last but not least is have an attitude of gratitude. So out of the 6, which one do you feel like has been something that you really try to focus on, not just during this time, but maybe in your life in general?
I think probably having an attitude of gratitude is one for me, especially given the current climate that we're in, just finding the positive in every day and making sure that my kids do the same.
I would say for me, it's probably lead the way. So between attitude of gratitude and lead the way, I think that what we're doing, and really through the leadership program, all the kids that we've been able to touch, as you talk about leaders and you talk about, just the different phases of life that we're all in, from young kids that are participating to the teenagers that are participating to the tweens and the ones that are gearing up for college. There's something that can be said really for each chapter on your journey and into being successful.
Absolutely. And I think one neat thing too is, these aren't just rules that you selected, these are rules that you've actually applied to your life. I know you get the question a lot, well, how are you so successful? What have you done to, get from point A to point B? So I think that it was pretty cool that you were able to sit down, come up with these 6 things to kind of keep it simple and give kids kind of a game plan of, hey, these are 6 things. If you could focus on these, you're gonna, find more success.
Well, the goal setting part, that's something that we have pretty much incorporated in every single program that we have with Catch the Stars, and really being able to set a goal, being focused on that goal, and then different ways of being able to achieve your goal. We have an ultimate one, which mine in 7th grade was to be in the NBA, but then smaller goals to be able to reach that, going outside, getting X amount of shots up per day, how many times you're going to dribble, making sure that you're doing ball handling, just different things, little things that would help me be successful. But then also in the classroom, getting not straight A's, but A's and B's, because that's what our parents really stressed early on, is getting A's and B's. So I think that there were a lot of things, and even as we go through the program and we start, like, we've had the opportunity to meet with these kids a couple of weeks, but it's been a lot of fun even in those 2 weeks of just being able to interact.
Yeah, and this is something too, like, if you've not been able to be part of this program, this is still a great book to maybe even do with your kids, or you know, if a team wanted to do something as kind of a team building activity, there's a lot of different exercises and activities all throughout the book. This one, you know, one of the things that we did with the students in our program is just a career crystal ball, you know, and the sooner that young people start thinking about their futures and some of the things they want to accomplish, the better off they'll be, because they'll be able to actually put plans in place instead of it just being a wish or a dream. You know, these are actual goals.
Yeah, the crystal ball was a lot of fun. And, you know, so as we move on to the next book, one thing Todd just touched on this is not a book that you just read through and then put it aside. It really is a game plan to life. It really is something that you go through each chapter, and you know, I think for us to even being able to share it with the kids that we get to share it with, it really made me refocus too, and what I'm doing. And even though I'm not a kid and trying to figure out what's next in my life, at every single age, at every single stage, we're always looking for, okay, like, what is the goal for this? And, you know, we have different programs that are happening within the foundation that we have goals for. We have different things that we're going through in our life that we have goals for. So it's been a lot of fun. Yep, it's been a lot of fun. So any last thoughts about Shoot for the Stars?
I think it's awesome. I mean, I know even for me, it's been fun to do this with the boys, you know, as we're kind of sitting still and, you know, being able to, as a parent, see what things are of interest to them. Cannon, I mean, gaming is something that was in his career crystal ball, and that kind of surprised me. But now as a parent, I'm able to say, okay, well, instead of getting mad that he's up there playing video games, how can I support, you know, and look for other opportunities within this to help him. So yeah, it's a great tool, I think, for families.
Well, so Shoot for the Stars was great.
It was awesome.
It was awesome. It is awesome. Yeah. It's all like, well, my life story, your life story too, because you've been a part of it. So the next book that we're going to introduce is Master of One by Jordan Rayner. And we actually had the opportunity, we read his first book called To Create, and Taj and I and a bunch of other women, we went to a conference, Multiply conference. Was that last year? Or was that 2 years ago?
I think it was last year.
Last year, so when he did his first book. And Vaughn, you were there, so you were part of it, but excited about this. When the first book that we read, called To Create, really just talked about finding the thing that you're passionate about and being able to create through the passions that we had. So this one kind of follows up with that, and find and focus on the work you were created to do. So you had another book on the Master of One, focusing on one, and, you know, faith is a big part of both of our lives, the big part of the book as well. Jordan Rayner, got an opportunity to sit down with him and chat with him a little bit. So who knows? Maybe we'll get a chance to see if he'll come on.
That would be awesome.
And talk a little bit about his book. But I'm excited. I'm excited. What is one thing that you would love to do masterfully well? And so being a master of one thing, and I know I say this all the time, but trying to do all the different things that I have going on in my life, even thinking about trying to do one thing can sometimes be tough, but to be the master of one thing that we have going on, we could try that. Maybe.
That would be hard. But I do like this. Even reading the back, too many of us are overwhelmed, overcommitted, and overstressed. This book offers a better way, the path of less but better, the path to becoming a master of one. So yeah, I do like that idea. I'm excited to read it.
Yep. So I hope that you guys have an opportunity. This just came out in January. So brand new book, came out in January. Let's take this journey together, and let's cross our fingers that Jordan will be able to join us, even if it's just for a little bit. He'll be able to join us. So stay tuned. We'll see you guys next month.
See you next month.
Happy 24th. Happy Memorial Day weekend.